Today I'm going to translate an article. This article is a Chinese article, and the title of the article is the interesting thing about China: the differences between northern and southern China. At the first sentence, ah, before that, uh, the blue, the word in blue is the translation I did by myself, and the red word is the translation I use Papago, and the pink one is the final translation. I combine them and maybe change a little with my word. So this article talk about like the differences between the North China and the South China, like the people there and also the geographical environment and the climate of the North China and the South China. So I will start the translation. For the first sentence, for this word like the biggest, at first I only think of biggest country, but after I saw the translation by the Papago, I know it's the largest. I should use the largest, the second largest country in the world. And when I do the this first sentence translation, actually I don't know how to translate like the territory. Territory. I don't know how should I like translate this word from Chinese to English. So I just use area. But now after I use the Papago, I know I should use the territory of like how many millions kilometers. And then because of this article, I know how should I like ex- how how should I say the numbers by using the from by using English from Chinese to English. How should I translate? Like this is like if I write this into Korean, it's like 960만. I think that Korean numbers and Chinese number is similar, but it's totally different with the English number. It's like 9.1 million. I always think this actually. I always see this amount on the YouTube, like the views, but actually I'm not sure how much is it because million. I always think million is like uh million is like higher than the thousand, which is the I mean the next unit after the thousand. I always think like that, but yeah, it's not. It's like 906. Okay, I'm not sure. Okay, so here is the word, the territory, and then here is like it's like really big, like the territory is really big. It use the word base, the base in this base territory. Mm, so China is the second largest country in the world, and it has like really big territory, and it has like the most population. like 1.4 billion in a country. A lot. And because the China is too big, so like different regions will have the different geographical environment and the climate. And this topic is always been the topic which talked by the Chinese people. Like what? Like the climate. The North China normally is like dry, and the temperature in winter is like below like to low to minus degree, like below the zero. But at the South China, in the South China is humid and rainy. I use the because I cannot think of humid. Like I when I do the translation, I didn't think of humid this word, but I know the meaning of humid. I know this word, but I cannot think of it, so I just use wet. But yeah, on the Papago they use humid, and I write is rain a lot because here is like the rain is a lot, so I write it rains a lot. I forgot I can use that rainy. So the South China is humid and rainy, and the temperature of four seasons is like average. It didn't change like a lot. And then the people in the north is bigger. They have bigger physical, and their personality is like more. They are more bold. Like they are more open-minded. I don't know. I can say that or not. Like they went out with their friends, they will just pay for their friends, pay for all the things. They won't say like we should pay by ourselves. They will just pay for everyone. Like their personality is really good. I didn't say like the people in the south is not good, but the people in the south is like more. They are smaller than the people in the north. Like they have smaller physical, and they are more gentle. Like for people in the south, when they cook, they will put like the food. They will design the food like really cute things, or like really good design, like really good looking on their food. And then um, on the when they eating, like the main food of the people the south, the main food of the north is usually is the noodles, and the main food on the of the south is the rice. It's so different. And then recently on the Chinese website, the social website, there are one more new topic. There are a new round of the interesting controversy. This is the word I cannot think of it. I know the meaning, I used it before, but I cannot think of it like when I do the translation. So the new controversy between the north and the south is is the people from in the north or the people in the south more resistant to cold? Which one? Like normally the people in the north say like they cannot stand the winter in the south because the winter in the south, like in the South China, every house don't have the heater, but in the north they have heater because it's too cold. Yeah, and the temperature is like below 0. But in the south it's not below 0, but in the south like the people in the south say their cold is like different. Their cold is like magic attack. It's like wet and the cold air will like permeate into your bones. Like you feel cold for the whole body. And I heard some people like some of my friends say they are prefer to stay outside than stay inside their room because they say like outside is more warmer than their house, their room. And recently, like this day, the winter is coming to China. The people in the north start to wear the padding, but people in the south say they are still wearing the short sleeve to go to the beach. Besides that, the humanities, which I cannot think of this word, the humanities, like the lifestyle. When I see this word, that Chinese word, I only can think of lifestyle. So I do the translation like into lifestyle instead of the humanities. I'm not sure about humanities. Can I use this? But yeah, it's from the Papago. I think maybe it's right. So the lifestyle of the North and the South China is also different. Like when they go to the market, the people in the north they buy the vegetables normal. Usually they like buy the vegetable with like a lot, with kg like you can say almost like tons. Yeah, they will buy like a big lorry. I mean a truck. Like they need a truck to carry their vegetables. Like a lot things. They will like buy a lot and they will just like stock stock in the house. And then but in the south, like in the south it's like totally different from the north. In the south you can just buy a little things, like you can just buy a radish, you can just buy an egg, just an. I don't know how you should pay, but they say you can just buy an egg, you can just buy a radish. And also if you like go to buy like the prawns, if you ask for the marketers, they will like do the prepare things. They will just what should I say? Like they will like clean all the things. They will like cut for you. If you buy the vegetables, like the potatoes, it will peel for you also. They will like prepare ready everything and just for you. This is the different. I think this is the first different thing that like on the social networking, like people talk about. It's the like they go to the market, the different of the market, like how they buy the things. And also, the food, like the amount of the food is totally different. In the north, there are a lot of things. Like the plate is like so big. It's a really big plate. But in the south, just like I say just now, like the south people like they care about the looking. They don't care about the amount the amount of the food. They care about the looking. They will like put the food really like not really small, like it's also small, but they will like really good looking, like a small thing, like they will put really like pretty on the plate. Like they think if the food is pretty, then the people who eat the food is they will feel good. Yeah, their emotion is will feel good, will be good. So when the people in the north go to south, they say they cannot like eat really full. They never full in the south when they eat something there. They need to always like keep like buy things, but it's expensive. So yeah, they say they never full in the south. And for the people in the south, go to the north and say they are always too full, and they cannot finish the food they order. They order. Yeah. So there are still a lot of different things in China. Sorry. There are still many differences between the north and the south of China, and this difference often lead to many interesting cultural collisions. In this sentence, I translate like this difference always make many facts because I don't know how to write the collisions. I know this word but I cannot think of it like before like when I do the translation. I know this word because of my chemical. I learned it in my chemical. And then yeah, for this last sentence, I think it's the most difficult part to translate because it's right. It's one to say about like the differences between the north and south make make the China like variety. Yeah, make like just a country have like different culture. Even it's in a country, it have a different many different culture. You want to say like this. So at first I translate like this different like mix together and make China more diverse. I think like if I translate this, maybe someone can understand, maybe someone cannot understand. So I changed to Papago. Papago say about like the combination of this diversity that make China so colorful. Actually, like if I say make some country more colorful, maybe I think maybe some people cannot understand like what it means because it's more like Chinese way to talk about like something more colorful means that it's really diverse. That it has many diversity. So I changed this into this. Like because of the intermingling of this diversity is also like the combination of this diversity that China is made up of such a rich variety. I think this is the most appropriate translation for this sentence. And for this article, I learned a lot of words, a new word, a lot of new words, new language here. And yeah, for after this translation, I realized that translating is really not an easy work things to do, easy work to do. But I'm still to it. Like the previous translation I did is like always I translate from Korean to English or English to Korean. And this is the first time I use my language first language, my language one, the Chinese. I translate it into English. At first I think it's easier to translate like from the Korean to English because I even though I have topic level 6, but I think it's still difficult like somewhere I can understand or I cannot think of the English word. But even though I use my first language, I still cannot like translate properly. I forgot many English vocabulary, so I think I should like yeah learn again, study again study English again if I want to do like some work about the translation. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you.